exam, we have point number 1, physical changes. In this, only the physical properties are going to change. How you will be writing the sentence? In physical changes, only the physical properties are changed. Whereas in the chemical changes, you are going to find the chemical composition is changed. The chemical composition is changed. So, in the second point says, now as I have told water, I have an ice cube converted into, if I am going to convert into water, I can get it back the ice cube. Just keep it in the refrigerator, I am going to get the ice cube back. So, in the case of physical changes, these are considered as reversible. Point number 2 is, they are considered as reversible. But in the chemical changes, you are going to find once the product is formed, means formed. You cannot get the substance back. So, these are considered as irreversible ones. Okay, then the third point says that the mass of the product, in this case, the mass of the reactants. The reactants, now for example, I am going to take 1 liter, just half a liter of water, and I am going to keep it in the refrigerator. Is that I am going to get only 1 gram of ice? No. Same, how much water, the quantity of water, I am going to keep it in the refrigerator. Same quantity of ice I am going to get. In the case of chemical, now if you burn the whole incense stick, are you going to get the same quantity of ash? It may vary, you are going to get some side products there. So, in the case of this, the mass of reactants will be equal to the mass of products. Here, it may change. The mass of reactant, not everywhere you are going to find the reactants mass and the product mass may be different. Yes? Let's see, children. Now, the chemical changes, as we say that the chemical changes, the changes, like for example, in this lesson, we are going to consider only the chemical changes, because there are many physical changes, and obviously we know that they are irreversible, they are reversible, and they are just happening everywhere. But in this lesson, only we are concerned with, only we are going to deal with our chemical changes. Now, wherever you are going to find any chemical changes happening, whether in your kitchen, like for example, curdling of milk, curdling process, or cooking, or you are going to find any ripen, like if you have kept any raw banana or raw apple into your kitchen, you are going to find after few days it's going to get converted into ripened one, it's going to ripe. So, some changes are converting. Yes, some products or some substances are converting, and you are going to find they are, the product form is the product forever. So, this type of changes, like chemical changes, where anywhere you are going to find, anywhere, any kitchen or in the chemistry lab, anywhere there will be some chemical changes, there will be some chemical reaction happening there. Wherever you find chemical changes, into that product, there will be some chemical reactions happening. So, what is chemical reaction now? The definition of chemical reaction is the reactants, we have to just keep in mind, easy definition, the reactants are transformed, into products. The reactants are transformed into products. So, the reactants which we are using, it may be a single one, it may be in 2 or 3, any reactants, when they react together, you are going to find a product. So, next one. Okay, let's see the third part, that is writing the balance equation, where or we can say which is the very important part of this lesson. Now, let's take the same example. Mg, I took a magnesium ribbon, I have heated it up, I have burned it literally, I have got a product MgO. Okay, Step 1, look at the reaction. Now in examination, just there will be some question asked, balance the given equation. Step 1, always see how many reactants and products you have. Look at the reaction first. Now once you look, you have to see both the sides. Now if you observe this, whole reaction is divided into two parts. This side, that is the left hand side, is the reactants part. This is the arrowhead, which is going to represent that a product is formed towards the RHS. So towards the RHS you are going to find products part. Keep in mind. So these are the reactants, these are the products, which is divided by an arrowhead. Now step 2, look at the first reactant, Mg. How many Mg atoms we have? 1. Look at the product side. 1. Done. It is already balanced. 1, 1. Why we are balancing now? You will ask me question, why must we are balancing? Why we need to balance? 9th standard, if you observe, if there was a very important definition, law of conservation of mass, which says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. So we have to balance. This is the main reason why we have to balance the equation. So Mg is 1, your Mg atom is 1. Look at the next one, next reactant, oxygen we have 2. 2 atoms, look at that side, we have 1. Is it balanced? No. This side we have 2, that side we have 1. So what we have to do? What's the next thing we have to do? We have to, at any case, we have to make this oxygen to, we need to convert it into 2, because we have to balance them by 2 oxygen and 2 oxygen. So I cannot do this directly. It's not possible. It's a completely wrong method. So according to chemistry rule, we have to, whatever products we have got, yes, whatever products we have got, we have to, whether we have to balance magnesium or we have to balance oxygen, we have to put the numbers towards this side, towards the LHS. Now let's see. I'm going to put it, because this 2 is for altogether MgO. Now if I'm going to balance this oxygen, now it's balanced. I have got it 2 oxygen atom. What about magnesium now? Magnesium is twice. 2 atoms. Is it balanced? Oxygen is done now. Oxygen is balanced. What about magnesium? Is it balanced? No. 2 magnesium, 1 magnesium. And can I put like that? No, it's not valid. So you're going to put it here. So here we have 2 magnesium. That side we have 2 magnesium. Let's take, I'll just tell you, tea powder. I just took tea powder, sugar and water. Yes. I have got a product as tea. Now, while preparing, like when you're tasting tea, you find that there is sugar. There's one, like sugar is more or it's less. For example, I'm going to take like sugar is less into that tea. So what you're going to do, are you going to take that sugar out and you're going to put sugar inside that? No. So if I'm going to put 2 here, what I'm trying to do, I'm going to put 2 for only oxygen, which is not possible because it is a combined product formed now. So it's not valid. So in this case, just take example of this. Now sugar, 1 teaspoon of sugar I need to add there. It is a complete product now. I cannot take out sugar and I'm going to put 1 spoon of sugar there. So into this, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of sugar. So I'm going to add into that tea, which is a combined product of tea, sugar and water. Same way here, oxygen is more here, oxygen is less. So I cannot put 2 for oxygen because it is a combined product now. So I am going to place this 2 here. Did you get it? So let's see. I'm going to take one more example so that you will understand it easily. So I have one example, that is zinc Zn plus H2SO4, which is sulfuric acid, and the products form are zinc sulfate plus H2. This question, for example, this question is asked in your paper. Balance the equation, yes, and complete it, because this equation still it is incomplete. Let's see why it is incomplete. First thing, step 1, I have explained you, these are the reactants, these are the products, which is divided by the arrowhead to represent that reactants are transformed into products. Okay, look at the reactants. First element or the first atom which is element which is involved, that is zinc. How many zinc atoms we have? 1. That side how many we have? 1. It is done. It is balanced. Hydrogen how many we have? 2. That side hydrogen how many we have? 2. In 9th standard we were having some groups, if you remember. Let's go individual so that you can understand. Sulfur 1. Sulfur 1. That side also it's 1. It's balanced. Oxygen 4. That side oxygen 4. So look, if you look at the reaction, it is already balanced. Now you will say, yes miss, it is complete now, reactants are equal to products, it is balanced. No children, if you even write this reaction in your paper, you are going to lose your half or 1 mark for it. So especially like half mark. Why, if you are going to ask me? You have step 1, you have to mention which reactants are involved. Your zinc is involved, you have to write sulfuric acid, you have to write all the details here. Along with details, you have to write some notations. If you won't write notations, you will lose your 1 mark. Notations are means if any reactant or the product is in the solid form, so you will be writing the symbol as S. If it is involved in liquid form, you will write the symbol as, you will notify it as L. If it is a gas, like here we have gas, so you are going to notify it as G. If it is in water, like for example any of the chemicals are diluted or any of the chemical is added into water, that means it is in the aqueous form. This word means it is a salt or any of the liquid which is into water. So you will notify or you will represent this aqueous as AQ. Let's complete this reaction now. Zinc, obviously it's going to be in the powder form, so solid. H2SO4, directly concentrated H2SO4, we won't use it. We are going to use here the diluted one. So H2SO4 will be aqueous. Here ZnSO4, obviously it's going to be aqueous because zinc powder you are adding into an aqueous solution. So obviously you are going to get an aqueous one. It is in what type of state it is? Aqueous state. Last H2, that is obviously everybody knows it is a gas. So until and unless you write this notations, it is incomplete. So did you get it children? Again I am explaining the elements which are towards right this side, left hand side. Here we have zinc, H2SO4. These are the reactants. That side where we have the product. It may be 1, it may vary there. Now in this case, this whole reaction is divided by an arrowhead which represents that reactants are transformed into products. Now after balancing, do not forget to write this notifications. These notifications are going to give you complete 1 mark. Okay, and along with that, don't forget to write the elements or the compound's name. Okay. Children, here are a few important questions related to the part which we have studied. Now, as we have studied related something related to changes, that those are physical and chemical changes. So, the first question will be asked alternately, or many years this question has been asked in your paper, that is difference between physical and chemical changes. It may be asked for 3 marks, and many a times it is asked for 3 marks. So, you have to mention the 3 points. Define chemical reaction. You have to just write a simple definition that in the reaction where reactants are transformed into products. The third question is related to that part. Write the observations involved in the chemical change. What actually happens in the chemical, how you can identify that anything happening. There are many changes, But what will be the observations related to chemical changes? Next one, there is a chemical reaction given, zinc plus H2SO4. You have to complete the reaction above. Complete the reaction above means you have to write the products, you have to write the notifications, that is the names of the compounds and elements, as well as the in what state it is present, like solid, liquid, gases or aqueous. Thank you.